I wish I could just do the whole video like this. This is the only way that I feel comfortable. um, I like to cover up my double chin. I know I probably look pretty silly. How's it going, everybody? I'm like in total comfort mode today. I had a really rough day yesterday. It was unexpected. It was a huge blowout, a really big confrontation that is really triggering like a huge shift in my life. It was definitely a tower moment. It was definitely unexpected. And so Spirit really wanted me to make this video today to you can see the little kitten down there in the corner. Where can I point? Anyway, you can see her. She's crazy. Her name is Lola. So Spirit really wanted me to do this video to sort of talk to you guys about reflections. This happened to me, it was between me and my mother, but I have been having a lot of people coming to me for twin flame readings and assistance with their twin flames. And I really love it. I love doing personal readings, and I love helping people. And so, like, the thing that Spirit really wants me to discuss with you guys is the idea of whatever situation that you find yourself in that is difficult, you know, for when you have your tower moments, when you run into issues where people insult you or treat you bad, or it's a toxic situation, or something like that. It's actually happening because it's a reflection of something you already have going on inside yourself. So I'm going to use myself as an example to try to explain this. Like the issue, I'm going to try to be as respectful as I can and not kind of, you know, throw everybody's, or throw, you know, the other people involved in my current situations. I really don't want to throw their business out there in the street, but I just want to say it involved allowing someone to sort of be in your life that is unhealthy for you, that is abusive, that treats you bad. And looking at that as like a reflection, today I'm gonna have to go through and really figure out the ways that I'm treating myself bad, and the ways that I'm not valuing myself, and the ways that I'm being toxic towards myself, and why I'm accepting that sort of behavior in my own life. Because if I wasn't accepting that behavior in my own life, it would not be manifesting outside of me. So how I do this myself is like, I'm gonna kind of walk you guys through this a little bit. When I was a little kid, my father was really abusive, and he was really controlling. And he would yell at me for like everything, you know. Usually kids just get disciplined when they are like bad, you know. But I get yelled at even if I was too loud when I was laughing and happy, you know. And there was a lot of physical abuse, you know, like being choke slammed against the wall. And you know, I remember when I was little, I remember hearing my parents like laugh about breaking shit, like as they were like spanking me with things, like, oh, you know, her butt's so hard, everything that we hit her with just breaks. You know? And a lot of people kind of accept this as the norm. That's not normal. That's not okay. You know, that's not okay to treat your children that way. So if you're really aggressive with your children in a disciplinary manner, it's probably time for you to look at your own childhood, because using force like that on children, it's not okay. Like, it fucks them up for the rest of their life, and I am an example of that. So, your parent, the parent that is the same sex as you, so if you're a woman, it's your mother, if you're a man, it's your father, that's the parent that is your role model. So however that parent behaved around you is going to subconsciously show you how to behave, and you're going to pick up subconscious behaviors from them. So like, if you were a girl and your mom didn't ever work, and maybe she put up with abusive behavior from her husband to not have to work, then you may find yourself as a woman being afraid of having a lot of money, or being afraid of being an independent person in the world without a man to depend on. That's one of the things that could come up if you were a man and your father was really distant, or, you know, Papa was a Rolling Stone, you know, if he wasn't really around a lot, if he was emotionally detached, or if he was abusive, or if he was, you know, really strict. Those are sort of characteristics that you're gonna, the thing is you're gonna treat yourself that way. So you're gonna be like, think that you're not good enough, and you're gonna be emotionally distant with yourself, and you're gonna feel like your own emotions are a burden, and that's gonna cause you to be emotionally distant with other people, and it may cause you to sort of just play out those same patterns. There are a lot of us that are born, that have been born, that are alive right now, that were born, I was born in 1980. So from that time forward, now the babies born now are just lit. They're fucking off the chart. They're lit. They're like little magical wands, like super, like we all are. But the kids that are being born now, like, they're gonna be flying and shit. Like, the world's gonna change. But anyway, a lot of people call us indigo children, crystal children, rainbow children, you know, there's labels. People like to label things, but we chose to come into these bloodlines, and you know, maybe we were our own ancestors. That's a possibility as well. Like, I've thought about that before. Like, maybe I'm my own great grandmother type thing. So anyway, but we chose to kind of come into these extremely abusive bloodlines to break these patterns, to alleviate this behavior, because it's not okay, you know. The base creative frequency in this existence is unconditional love. And because of the way that society has sort of programmed us through television, movies, things like that, we are programmed to we're programmed to be really hard on ourselves. We're programmed to be really savage. We're programmed to be competitive with each other. We're programmed to, I constantly cover up my double chin because it really bothers me, because, we're programmed to feel that we have to look a certain way and behave a certain way. Like, I really try to not say the word fuck, Like, I really try to not be trashy and vulgar, even though I love it. Like, that's something that I really like. And so I probably like it because that was something else that ran in my family. Like, my grandmothers were, they had sailor mouths, and I thought it was hilarious. And my father is very vulgar, and the very first thing that he taught me when I was a baby was how to cuss because he thought it was funny. Hello, that's just more child abuse, but that stuck with me, and that feels really comfortable to me now. It's really funny to me now. And that's probably something that is gonna change with me in time. I don't like to use vulgar language around children, and I don't feel like that it is, that it's a good thing. So if I don't do that around children, then I probably shouldn't do that around, adults either, but I still do. We all have different things that are in our DNA, in our bloodline, and it's a generational thing. So, when running from these things isn't gonna fix anything. At the same time, we have to learn self-care, especially if we were abused as children because we weren't taught self-care. So we have to learn healthy boundaries, and we can't put ourselves, drown ourselves in a toxic situation, and that's sort of what I do because I'm hardcore. I'm a hardcore healer. I don't do it because I do it consciously. So that's different than people that just find themselves in the situations and they're like, oh my god, why am I in this situation? I do it consciously. I go into the situations that hurt. I go into the situations that I'm afraid of because I'm a hardcore healer, and I really want to learn about those things, and I really want to heal those things and release those things because my life has been very difficult. It hasn't had a lot of joy in it the way that I would like. And I got to the point after, I went through a lot of really, really bad stuff with some old relationships, and I wanted so much to have a healthy relationship. I'm really romantic. I'm very passionate. I want very much to have a good, loving relationship. And I never really had a lot of that in my life, I'm really physically affectionate. I never really had a lot of physical affection in my life. So those are things that I desire, and I also did a lot of neglecting of my inner child because I was never taught how to nurture my inner child. So I really was very codependent in a way because I really was seriously craving that connection, that loving connection, and I would find men that reminded me of my father without realizing it because I was trying to heal those wounds within me, clear that generational DNA shit with my father. And since I cleared all that out, I know I finally cleared that out because now I'm feeling more attracted to men that are I'm really only attracted to one right now, but I'm feeling attracted to people that are more like me, that are more genuinely like things that I like. And I never really experienced that before. I was really drawn to these guys and I wasn't really sure why. And I didn't even realize that I didn't even have like a genuine attraction to them. But it was because I was trying to heal things. And now I'm experiencing kind of from a distance what it feels like to kind of have a genuine attraction to somebody. And it's not just attached to daddy issues, because I finally cleared those out. I'm still working through my mommy issues, but I think I'm about done with those. But so it's the reflection. So like say somebody cheats on you, or you have a lot of deception going on with somebody in your life. Then you have to kind of ask yourself how you are deceiving yourself. What are you lying to yourself about when it comes to you, to who you really are, to what your what your true self is. A lot of us are really afraid to be real, to be who we really are, because a lot of us get really ridiculed for that. Or I guess rather, if you're if you struggle with being your true self, it's probably because you have been ridiculed for that. And we hold on to a lot of things. Like my first boyfriend abused me almost to the point of death for 4 years when I was 17, and there are still things that he said to me that stick with me today. Like, I don't even know why you're talking right now. Don't you know that nobody really wants to hear what you have to say? They just pretend like they do to be nice. Like, that took me a long time to get past that, and that's probably one of the reasons why it's difficult for me to do videos like this, and that's probably one of the reasons why Spirit is really forcing me, really trying to push me to do this. And I was never obedient to Spirit. I was never obedient to shit. I was very angry. I revolted against everything because my parents, who were the people who were supposed to love me, were very abusive to each other and were very abusive to me. So when your parents are very abusive to you, you become, it really helps you be like, have that revolutionary sort of personality. You revolt against things. Like, you become a badass. You don't want to be told what to do. There's like, you don't want to listen to God. You don't want to listen to Spirit. You don't want to listen to shit, because your parents are supposed to love you, and they're supposed to guide you, and they're supposed to be gentle and tender with you and teach you how to be the best version of yourself that you can be. And if you don't get that from your parents, and you don't fucking trust nobody, especially God. Like, fuck God. That's how I used to feel. I grew up very hating on God very hard, because I felt like, how dare you put me in this position? And there is a friend that I have on Facebook, and I love her. She's beautiful. I hope she watches this video, and I know that she's going through a lot of this stuff with herself right now, and I know she's in that fuck God stage. Like, why would God allow these things to happen to me? And it takes a lot of experience, and a lot of really, you have to really seek these answers out to really understand that we're here for soul growth. And we also choose to be born into the families that we are because we're strong. We came here with a mission. We came here to be born into these families because we have the ability to clear this generational, it's really a generational curse. They're curses. And we have the ability to clear these curses. And it's only in going through, we have to experience everything that our ancestors experienced and then heal them individually, one thing at a time, in order to clear these curses. And the only way that you can heal something is through acceptance and unconditional love. So you have to look at it and figure out why it exists, where the deficit is within you, because it can get a little tricky, but it's like we have to experience it so that we can internalize the event and understand why it has been happening repeatedly. We have to go into the pattern to change the pattern. You can think of yourself sort of like a computer program. You have to go into the program to change the program and rewrite it as something new, and you do that with unconditional love and acceptance and forgiveness. And a lot of people have that twisted. They think that forgiving somebody is allowing them to treat them like a piece of shit. No. It's not that, it's not that at all. Do not let somebody treat you badly. It's not that, because that's not what it's about, but it's about understanding why it's happening. And once you understand why it's happening, it changes things. You have to figure out the reason for the pattern. Like, my father was abusive because his father was abusive. My father was abusive because his father did things like wrapped a fucking phone cord around his throat and tried to choke him out. Like, he wasn't that intense with me, but there was physical abuse. And, he was less abusive than his father, so he was attempting to change things. But, he just wasn't fully healed. And it wasn't that my father didn't love me. And it's not that my mother doesn't love me. It's just that they have their own issues, and they're afraid of intimacy, and they have trust issues, and they have these certain things going on. That doesn't mean, put yourself in a position where you allow yourself to be abused unless you're somebody like me and you're a hardcore healer and you choose to put yourself in these toxic situations because you want to shift the fuck out of it as fast as possible, and you know what you're doing and you know how to do it. Even if I share the fact that I'm struggling, it doesn't mean that I feel that I'm a victim. It means that I'm trying to learn how to share the fact that I'm struggling in a healthy way. I went to a lot of counselors in my life, and none of them helped me. So I was like, fuck it, I'm going to figure out how to do this on my own. I was tired of them giving me medicine. I was tired of them treating me like I was crazy, because I knew I wasn't crazy. Because I'm not. I'm more sane than most motherfuckers in the world. I know what's going on. And I also have intense spiritual abilities that I've been very open to my whole life. Everybody has this. I've just been very open to them my whole life because of the sexual abuse that I had when I was really young. It made me feel very dirty when I was in my body, and I'm sure that has a lot to do with how I feel about my body now and how I'm covering myself up. I'm aware of that, and that's something I'm still working through. But because of how I felt about being in my body, because of the things that happened to me, I was always trying to get the fuck out of my body. And so I lived a lot of my life in other dimensions, basically. And that really opened me up and put me in a place where I understood this realm and different realms in a spiritual way that a lot of people struggle with and just don't understand now, because they were always comfortable in their bodies, so they always lived this physical existence, really rooted in this physical existence. I've never been very rooted in this physical existence, and that's something that I really struggle with. I wake up and, oh my god, I'm here again. I said that in my last video, and I mean that. It's difficult for me. That's one of my difficulties. But we all make up the body. That's the reason I think that phrase exists, the body of Christ, because we all make up the body. What I mean is we all have different abilities that we tend to be the strongest at, and they're different, and that's good for them to be different. Now, we get competitive with each other, which in my opinion is completely fucking stupid. Because it's not about if you're better than me or I'm better than you. It's what are you good at? What are you naturally good at? And how passionate does it make you? And how good at that do you want to be? Because it serves a purpose. I don't care. If somebody's better than me, I get excited because that means I can learn from them, especially if it's something that I'm passionate about. So Anyway, the things that I'm going to have to be looking at for myself as far as the reflection is my self-talk. Why am I so hard on myself? Because, you know, the blowout was really difficult yesterday, and there was a lot of toxicity that was aimed my direction. And there's a lot of hating going on towards me from a few different directions. And that means that I'm hating on myself internally in a few different directions. And I need to figure out where I'm doing that and why I'm doing that. And so it ties back to my father being really harsh with me and making me feel like it wasn't okay for me to be myself, and it wasn't okay for me to be happy, and it wasn't okay for me to not be happy. And basically it wasn't okay for me to breathe, because just my existence was a burden to him. And my existence was a burden to him because of the things that he had done to me. He felt guilty for those things. And he also had a really hard time connecting with me because he had so many trust issues, and he felt like he was going to hurt me, which he did. So it was like a self-created prophecy. And so every time he saw me, I triggered him. And when I was happy, it triggered him. When I was sad, it triggered him. My whole existence triggered him. And I was a constant reminder of certain things in his life that he was not able to deal with. Now, I still have more things to work through, and there's also things, you know, with my mother, you know, things that that my mother did or didn't do with me, and those are probably where I really need to go to the most, because she's the one that I'm having the difficulties with now. You know, I'm still struggling with feeling like it's okay to be who I am, and to be overweight, or to be thin, or to whatever I look like on the outside, accept myself for those things. So I hope that I'm explaining this the right way. I'm still really struggling with making these videos, so it's a lot easier for me to do the readings because the video's not on me, it's just on the cards, and I don't get as triggered when I do it that way, but I really, like I said, felt that this was the video I was supposed to do today. So I just want to let you guys know that if you're struggling with your relationships right now, whether it's a twin flame relationship, a soulmate relationship, a karmic relationship, a romantic relationship, a family relationship, a work relationship, however it is that you're struggling, the guidance that just came up into me with the personal reading that I just did, I want to share because I thought it was brilliant, and it is to sit down with a piece of paper and draw a line in the middle and focus on whoever you're having the difficult relationship with, and write all the things that they're doing that you don't like. And then on the other side, write all the things that you're doing that you don't like. And then flip the page, and on one side write all the things that this person is doing that you do like, and all the things that you're doing that you do like. And then flip the page and write all the things that you want this person to be doing and they're not doing. And then all the things that you want yourself to be doing and you're not doing. And it's going to surprise you when you see how similar those things are if you're real with yourself. And you might as well be real with yourself, because the more you lie to yourself about your truth, the longer it's going to take for you to get to a place of happiness in your life. It's okay to have things that you struggle with. The self-judgment is just going to slow you down, because again, like I said, we are clearing thousands of years of ancestral curses. So you have these things in you, not because they're in your soul, not because it's who you are, but it's because it's the things that you have adopted, that you have picked up to clear. So they're in you. So if you look at the things that, like, I'm scared of intimacy. I'm scared that somebody's not going to love me. I'm scared that somebody's going to think I'm overweight and think that I'm ugly. I'm scared that somebody is going to be intimidated by my intensity. I'm scared that somebody is going to be intimidated by my happiness. I'm scared that somebody's going to piss me off, and I'm going to get really fucking triggered and just knock their fucking teeth out of their mouth. Like, whatever it is for you, I'm scared I'm going to let somebody walk all over me. Whatever it is, you know, I'm scared I'm going to cheat on my partner. I'm scared that I can't be committed. You have these fears in you. If you didn't have these fears in you, your relationships would be perfect. And they're clearly not perfect because you're watching this video, which means that you have something to learn, which is good. It's good to learn. Now, don't judge yourself for the things that you have within you that are not the way that you want them to be. That's okay. You're not supposed to be perfect. Society feeds you that bullshit of making you think that you're supposed to be perfect. This is a journey, you know? You are, you're being molded. You're like clay. You're molding and remolding and rebuilding and healing and changing and shifting, and your entire life can change in a matter of moments. If you can find the right sort of fear that you have and clear that and see why there's no need to be afraid of it. You know, maybe there is somebody out there that already loves somebody that is overweight. Maybe there's somebody out there that already loves that when you get mad, you're afraid that you're going to knock somebody's teeth out. That sounds crazy, but, like, it's true. You know, and that's maybe not the best way to put it, because it's maybe not good to, you know, love unhealthy things, but, again, that's a judgment, you know? It's like, don't judge yourself, just look at it and figure out where the illusion is. There's an illusion in there, somewhere attached to that fear. You know, the only real healthy kind of fear that you could have is, like, if you're afraid to jump off of a cliff because you're probably going to get hurt when you do it. That's a healthy fear. But if you're just afraid, like how I'm afraid of doing these videos, that's an illusionary fear, because I just am afraid of sharing myself, because when I've shared myself in the past, I've been abused. I'm afraid of being judged because I was judged in the past, so therefore I still am judging myself. Those are things that can be cleared and can be changed and need to be shifted in your psyche. And, you know, making these videos are difficult for me, but I'm brave, and I am all about the healing. And I'm all about helping other people heal, so I will do this, even though this is difficult for me. And it doesn't really matter to me what you think of me. It doesn't at all. It matters to me what I think of me. And that's why I have a hard time making these videos, because it's hard for me to look at myself. It's hard for me to look at this, you know? It's hard for me to see, like, that my teeth look really fucking crackheadish. Because they look more yellow than they normally are. But they're not as white as I want them to be. Like, I'm seeing the things reflected back at me that I don't like about myself. It's about me. It's about me and how I feel about myself. And your relationship issues are about you and how you feel about yourself. Even if you have tricked yourself into thinking that you really give a fuck about what somebody thinks about you, you really don't. You don't. You care about how you feel about you. And, I really, it's my goal, it's one of my missions in life, one of my purposes for my life, to inspire others and teach them how to get to the point where they're more comfortable with themselves and they love themselves more and they feel more empowered. And they understand that I want everyone to understand that they create their lives in every moment. It's not about teaching you how to create your life. You already create your life. You do. It's figuring out how you're doing it. And then figuring out how you can refine your feelings about yourself and your fears. How to refine those things, how to purify the judgments that you have towards yourself in order to be a more clear vessel for your higher self and spirit to work through you, so that you can create a world that is more harmonious for you, thus harmonious for everyone. The more harmonious you are, the more harmonious everyone else is. Reality is not what you think that it is. And this world is not what you think that it is. And you're a lot more powerful than you have ever been led to believe. So I think that wraps up this video. I hope that you liked it, and I hope that it helped you in some way. If you want to work with me more on a one-on-one basis, if you feel, the soul pull to contact me for anything, go ahead and do it. I'm going to put my contact information in the description box. I just want to let everybody know that I still have a discount going on my tarot readings until April 15th. I always run a discount during Mercury retrograde. So if you're interested in that, let me know with that as well. So take it easy.